right. Welcome to the new Reverend Matty show, coming to you from the corner of a small bedroom in a crappy apartment somewhere in Queens, New York. This is the first time in a long time that I've streamed. We're still sort of shaking the bugs out of the technology. It was very difficult to get a camera angle in here, so this is all we're going to get. So we're going to test things out. In the meantime, some people might watch this, on the replay because it gets recorded, and you can watch it on YouTube later on. There are a couple of things that I need to explain, and one of them, which is a question that I get a lot, is what happened to you? I disappeared from the scene for about 2 years, stopped streaming, stopped playing guitar, stopped doing everything, and this was due to a pretty grave illness, which is now finally, after all this time, been identified as congestive heart failure, which, as far as I could tell, I walked around with for at least, not walked around with, I was an invalid with this for about 1.5 years. I had water retention that you wouldn't believe. I couldn't even lift my limbs. I was so loaded with fluid. Finally, in August of 2022, I couldn't breathe, and my Kathleen rushed me to Flushing Hospital, and they came out with a diagnosis of congestive heart failure within like less than 30 minutes. They took an x-ray, they took all my blood, they came out, this is what you have, this is what we're going to do. They treated me aggressively for it for a week, and I came out like a new man. Okay? I had mobility issues to begin with. I have nerve damage to my spine. I have broken vertebrae and the like in my cervical and my lumbar spine. So those of you that have seen me lately, this is basically how it's been. I use a walker or a cane or stuff and things like that to get around. But had you seen what it was like last July, it was, for me, it was the end of everything. I just gave up and was sitting in front of the TV waiting to die, as a whole bunch of doctors are all telling me I can't breathe because I'm fat and I need gastric bypass surgery. Meanwhile, my heart is failing. Okay. So let this be a lesson to you. If a doctor ever tells you anything, get a second opinion or a third opinion. I happen to be fortunate because I have a lot of doctors, but there's one of them that I trust implicitly. All right. And he had this nailed right off the bat. So, just because they're doctors doesn't mean they're geniuses. It just means they made their grades. All right. So basically grave illness, 1.5 years, I was missing. It was terrible. Symptoms and conditions that I don't even want to talk about. It was just horrible, and it was gross to say the least. And this is how it was. Now, let me speak a little bit about Studio M. Studio M took me 16 years to build, little tiny piece at a time. Through all my ups and downs in life, my career doing great, I was building Studio M. My career falling apart, I was putting little pieces into Studio M whenever I could. I went from six-figure man in a corporation, IT, as an IT professional, to a guy busking on the subway. And that's how I made my living up until my back went so bad that I couldn't do it anymore. And, Studio M ended up what it was. And we're going to take a look at Studio M as anybody that's looked at my YouTube channel, or anybody that I know, or people that used to watch the Reverend Matty show, remember seeing something like this.
Ladies and gentlemen, ASMR from Stool Taster Dan. You still with me there, Dan?
Yeah, I'm here on the phone with you, Reverend. You're looking good today. You sound great. I see that Josh is watching. Josh, you bastard. If you had a phone, I'd call you up. But you're already the Reverend's bitch.
Dan, you want to tell people, for people that don't know you, would you like to for people that don't know you, would you like to tell them who you are and what you do?
Well, yes, I'm Stool Taster Dan, and the Reverend calls me that because I am a professional forensic stool taster. Okay, I taste stools in a laboratory, and I try to figure out where they came from and what they had for dinner the night before.
Well, isn't that kind of a, when you tell people this in real life, do you run into a lot of guff and people make fun of you?
Oh yeah, all the time. It's they look at me like I'm some kind of like I'm some kind of ridiculous pig or something. But there just aren't enough people in the trade of stool tasting. Okay, I went and I took a correspondence course several years ago on stool tasting.
Wait a minute, you paid tuition and went to school so that you could taste stools?
Yes, that's exactly what I did. And I got this job, and it's not particularly glorious. I mean, I taste stools, but it's a living. At any rate, I gotta go. They just brought me a new sample, and I gotta cleanse my palate.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Stool Taster Dan.
God bless you all. See ya.
And that is what many of you will remember Studio M looking like and being like. I miss it a lot on right at the beginning of right at the end of the year 2021. I was in the hospital for another thing that needed to be taken care of, and when I came out, it was early in January. And actually, they let me out on New Year's Eve. Imagine getting discharged from a hospital at 4:30 in the afternoon on New Year's Eve. Again, watch it with the hospitals and the doctors. At any rate, within a couple of days, things started to go pretty bad. I was still sick as anything. I couldn't get up out of a chair without Kathleen. I couldn't do anything by myself. I couldn't even dress myself. It was terrible. The water retention, everyone examined the hell out of me, and nobody decided to notice this. Okay. And, on January 6th, our cat, who was probably one of our favorite cats that we ever had, passed away. His name was Boomer. And if we thought things were bad then, a couple of weeks later, our landlord comes up to the apartment and tells us that some guy is gone to contract on the house and we have to get out. And this guy, the person that wants the house, is adamant and he wants us out right freaking now. Finally, a real estate person that we knew who worked for the landlord that we had this apartment that I'm in right now, that we're in right now, Kathleen and I. He had this apartment open, and he claimed that this was all he had in the entire small city that we live in Queens. And it's, it's a 3-floor walk up. And at this point, I don't know that I'm having heart failure. At this point, I'm like, I can't believe these people want me to have my digestive system rearranged. And they think that's why I can't breathe. I don't buy it. I don't know what it is, but I don't buy that. And it's a good thing I didn't. Okay. At any rate, on April 2nd, 2022, Studio M was destroyed by movers. Not their fault. They had to come in and pack everything. They were pretty good with this stuff. Only a couple of things got cracked. No major equipment got damaged or anything like that. They took all the cool wall hangings. I had autographed everything from everybody all over the walls. And, I couldn't pack anything. I couldn't even stand up. So they came in and did the packing and everything and brought it over here in a bunch of boxes. And this place is so small compared to the place we were in. It took months and months and months and months and months to get my equipment unpacked. And then further months to try to figure out how to squeeze something useful into this tiny little space. looking at it now, if you look at the camera angle right now, as I wave to you with my fancy little keyboard here, it looks much bigger than it is. I'm literally crammed into a corner here. Okay. And that's what happened. And on August 6th, 2022, I ended up in Flushing Hospital, got the diagnosis of heart failure, came out, like I said before, and I was much more functional again. Within a couple of days, I started to notice that I could get up and down out of a chair. I was starting to be able to dress myself. Okay. Do I still have balance problems? Yes. Those of you who have been to my past couple of gigs have seen me stumbling around. Okay. Some of you have actually grabbed me by the arm so I wouldn't hurt myself, and I appreciate that. So, you know, on as it turns out, I'm a member of the Woodhaven Arts Circle, which it started off as an open call to all the artists in the neighborhood, painters, sculptors, poets, musicians, and everybody got together and we started an organization, and we had a big fall what did they call it? Not an exhibit. Fall showcase. We had a fall showcase. We rented out an entire church and put out an open call to artists from like the surrounding areas and whatnot, and had a big thing going on, 3 floors in this church. And I had my little location near the front door where people came in. And for the first time in years, I fired up an amplifier and got out and sat there with a guitar and played my songs. And all my art people that knew me were very supportive. If I got up to go look at somebody else's exhibit, there'd be a fellow artist with their hand on my arm. If I wanted to go upstairs and see a particular exhibit. It was funny. The kid's name, he signs his work, Catfish. Okay. And he applied for a spot in the showcase. Hi, I'm 10 years old. I don't think drawing is my forte, but my mom thinks it is. Could I be in your art show? And I was hysterical. And I remember mentioning to the organizers, like, yeah, you have to get this kid and tell his mother to bring everything off the refrigerator and everything. We'll put a spotlight on this kid. And I wanted to see his art, and it turned out to be great. And it was way beyond anything that would go on the refrigerator. This guy made some nice digital artwork, which was great. But to get up there was a flight of stairs. And don't think there wasn't an openly supportive person shuffling me all around this art show. And I appreciated it. And my soul woke up. And my muse came back. And I was so punched in the face by this that all of a sudden I became musically functional again. Then I went to see, a couple of days before Halloween, I went to see the Astral Cadence at a local tavern in Ozone Park, the name of which I'm not going to mention out of respect for my promoter. Okay. And I saw the Astral Cadence, and I saw the way they arranged it. They had 3 bands, and it was good. And my friend Dennis, who's the bass player in the Astral Cadence, spoke to the promoter and said, hey, listen, go talk to this guy, the Reverend Matty F. He does this one-man sort of rock show thing. And you know, he's been sick, he's recovering, and he needs like a leg up to get back into the scene. And you know what? The guy came through. Next thing I know, it's SantaCon, and I'm playing at the tavern. And it was great. And I'm alive. And I'm glad. And I'm sorry I left you people all that time, especially people used to watch me all the time. Like, I apologize profusely to my European audience, my people in Belgium, my people in Germany, my people in Vienna. This is a shout out to Mrs. Chorben and Kavisti Bard and my friend Klaus, Blop 0408, and my friend Etsy, and And anybody that I forgot, I'm really sorry. But you know, I miss you guys, and I'm sorry I stopped streaming, but I had no choice. To do the art show thing, I spent a month relearning how to play the guitar, and then I had to get style again. It was one thing just to learn where my hands went, and then all of a sudden I had to get my stylistic chops back in order, and that was a job too. So here it is. This is the Reverend Matty F show, and you know, we're talking about stuff, and we're gonna maybe, you know, test the equipment a little bit today, and I'm gonna get ready to do that. Okay, so just give me a second, and you're not gonna hear much of anything, but you know, it takes a second. All right, how about a little of this? Okay. I'm thinking of taking all the guitars wireless, but I don't know. A little noisy, this channel, but bear with it. eating monkey pig. Cheese 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 eating monkey pig. All right. So what if it's a cheese eating monkey pig? cheese-eating monkey pig. It makes no sense, I know. Cheese-eating monkey pig. That's just the way it goes. Oh yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. The cheese-eating monkey pig. Cheese-eating monkey pig. Cheese. There you have it, the cheese-eating monkey pig. By the Reverend Matty, yeah. You know, you gotta keep these things in tune. And that's what I'm gonna do here. Ooh. All right. All right. Mr. Know-it-all, bohemian cool. Think you're all that and think me a fool. Maybe you need a lesson to learn. Lose a notch, crash and burn. Player and loser, for you it's the same. Self-proclaimed badass, stupid and lame. Live like a bum, think you're an ace. Ignorant flunky, total disgrace. Legend in your own mind, smarter than us all. Legend in your own mind. All-time loser and too dim to hear the call. Your truth is your own, whatever you read. Self-absorbed bullshit, all in your head. You did me a favor, took me to school. I learned the score, you stayed a fool. Legend in your own mind, smarter than us all. Legend in your own mind. All-time loser and too dim to hear the call. Mr. Know-It-All, bohemian cool. Think you're all that and think me a fool. Maybe you need a lesson to learn. Lose a notch, crash and burn. One, two, 1, 1, 2. Crash and burn. Crash and burn. 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. My singing voice isn't great because I'm recovering from COVID-19, which, as you know, is the current disease du jour here in the United States. The disease du jour. Disease du jour. Yeah, man. I'm gonna try one more of these songs and I'm gonna stop singing. All right. Mr. Muse, where have you gone? Like a vision, time goes on. Nation's hard to see, thinking how it used to be. Sometimes write the title first, random thoughts, artistic thirst. Words come after, you can see, the pieces fit like you can be. Mr. Muse, just tell me why you left and let my spirit die. The road's been long, I'm so alone. Please rise up and come back home. Sometimes write the title first, clue the lyric. Have a point to make, for reasons mine and yours to take. Oh yeah. Mr. Muse, just tell me why you left and let my spirit die. Road's been long, I'm so alone. Please rise up and come back home. Mr. Muse, welcome home. I'm glad you're back, I'm less alone. Clear, now I can pen, walk with rhythm and lyric again, oh yeah. All right. That was a little bit of this and a little bit of that. I'd like to know if anybody listening, you're hearing any echoes or anything like that? Is the music coming through clearly? Does it repeat itself? I mean, echoes that don't belong there. This belongs there when I turn it on. Lorenzo Bezzoni. You know, that's supposed to be there. But, you know, as long as you're not hearing echoing, you know, on whatever device you're listening. If you'd like to be on the show, you know, you can send me an email to reverendmattyf@gmail.com, and I'll send you a link that you could use. That'll bring you right into my studio here. And we can hang out together and talk about stuff. Anybody in the SantaCon chat, who will be the only people that know what I'm talking about, you know, if you'd like to try to come in, I'd like to have everybody come in at one time or another, or sometime or another, or even repeatedly, to talk about what you guys are doing, what you have coming up, what's going on, what are you working on, are you doing any new projects or anything like that? Okay, thank you very much, Kathleen. Kathleen gives me a thumbs up on the video and the sound. Are my lips all synced up? Like do my lips match what I'm saying? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me look at the gallery here. Do my lips match? Excellent. Okay, this is going better than I thought. I thought this was going to just fall apart at the seams, and it's not. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to search around a little bit. I'm going to play a song that was sent to me by my friend Dennis Doyle of Density, and I'm gonna play this song. Let me bring it up. I figure. Oh, here it is. This was recorded live somewhere. This is Density with Dennis Doyle. He was supposed to be my guest on the premiere broadcast, and then I got sick with COVID. So I came on today. It's kind of spontaneous, but it's Dennis's song. That's Calm, K-O-M. Daughter of Spawn of Reverend. Telling you to peace up, bitches. It's not true. I'm sitting right here. I'm testing the screens. So, I just lied to you with my screen. What are you going to do about it? There you go, Dennis Doyle and Density, on the Reverend Matty F show. I wanted to play it. He was good enough to send it to me. We were getting all ready to do the show, and the day before, Kathleen, many of you that were at the shows met Kathleen. I basically can't do anything without her. She makes sure I don't fall down and break my neck. She helps me carry things. She takes care of me. Here at the house and everything. She's ultimately the caregiver that makes it possible for me to function in in society in a lot of different aspects. I mean, I'm much better than I was, and I'm no longer. I mean, I'm gonna have heart failure forever. It doesn't go away. But what I can tell you is that nothing's perfect, and despite how functional I am, I still need help with stuff. I've been on disability now for years. Let me see. One day in 2017, I was getting ready to go do my shtick on the subway. I used to put on a fedora and a pair of sunglasses similar to these, and I used to go to work. I wasn't, the guy that you met at the pub in Ozone Park, or the guy that you met on, at the art show in September. I used to go to work on the subway in character as Matty F. Okay. Later on, I went back to the church where I was ordained, and I was given the honorary name of Reverend. So I decided to be the Reverend Matty F. I couldn't busk anymore. One day in 2017, I had my guitar on my back. I used to carry a big, heavy Ovation acoustic, and I used to sing acoustically on the moving trains. And I was detained so many times by the police, I can't even count. I was on a first name basis with all of the supervisors, and my promoter and come to be very good friend, Nato Tornado, basically iterated this to people at a show that we were at. Nato was did the promotion for the whole show, and it was also the front of house, with the sound and everything else. He did everything. The guy wore like 100 hats, and he iterated to people what I was doing in the subway. At any rate, I opened the door to our apartment, our last apartment that we basically got chucked out of, and I was standing at the top of the stairs, and I came back in, and I turned to Kathleen, I said, I am in too much pain to go down the stairs with this guitar, and I don't think I could carry it up the stairs. So that was the end of my busking on the subway. Really. So I have a million stories down there. Just ask. I have seen down there in the subway, I have seen everything. I don't think there's a point in the subway where I didn't end up and sing a song the whole time. But here it is. As it is now, I have heart failure, okay? Fortunately, there's different types of heart failure, and mine happens to be the more survivable type. If I take good care of myself, I could basically just go on and live a full life, unless I'm unlucky and something happens. But for now, it's much better than it was. If you saw me 7 months ago, you wouldn't believe. You wouldn't recognize me. Really something. So, that said, your Reverend needs help with things. Okay, for instance, I would like to keep doing this stream if anybody would like to keep watching it. Okay. Now, we need to get out of this apartment. It's too small for us. We still have half an apartment that's like a mountain in our living room because we can't unpack anything because there's no place to put it. Okay. So, if anybody would like to support what I'm doing with the stream, or help us get the hell out of here in some way, I feel kind of GoFundMe. If I had to go make a GoFundMe for myself, I would feel cheesy about it. I don't want to go and make my own GoFundMe. Okay. If somebody I know wants to do it, that would be fine. But we need to get out of here, and I would like to continue doing this stream. Okay. If you look further down, you scroll down to where the description of this episode is. You could see the link if you would like to make a donation, and the ID that you would need if you use the CashApp and you would like to make a donation via CashApp. I'll give you an idea of what it costs just for me to do this stream. Okay. You'll notice in the upper right hand or left hand corner, I'm not sure which way you're seeing this. At any rate, it says Restream up in the corner. I would like to get rid of that and put my Reverend Matty F logo. It looks like this. See it? You see what it looks like? Yeah, I'd like to have that up in the corner. I'd also like to be able to have more than 6 participants, okay? And I'd like to have the opportunity to have a team, so I could have 2 or 3 people for when there are broadcasts with a bigger audience, or if we do a broadcast where we sold tickets, you know, that there are people that could be part of the team and, you know, moderate this. I don't need your help to live, okay? I don't need anybody's help to live, so to speak. I mean, obviously it doesn't look like I don't look like I'm starving, but if you saw me a year ago with 100 pounds of water weight on me, I looked like a big round Thanksgiving Day balloon pig. Okay, what you're seeing now is well over 100 pounds down from where it was. You know, we can, you know, we you know, our bills, you know, I'm able, thank God, to pay my bills, and, you know, we could eat, and you know, we have a couple of cats that we take care of, but they're not the most expensive thing in the world unless they got to go to the vet. But again, far be it from me to turn around and refuse a donation. So if you want, scroll down and check out the link, or if you use the Cash App, it shows you right under the link there what the idea is on Cash App if you'd like to, you know, send a donation for it. If I stream regularly, I'm going to go through things like guitar picks and strings and wires. I'm forever replacing a bad wire. Okay? I'm fortunate that at the time that I bought this microphone, this is an Electro Voice RE20. It's the de facto broadcasting microphone. It's fortunate that I was able to, at the time, afford one of these $400 microphones. Okay? And the shock mount and the cute flag with my logo on it and everything. As you could see, if we go back to...
Ladies and gentlemen, ASMR.
It was designed...
From Stool Taster Dan. You still with me there?
It was designed
Dan?
so you could see it in the camera shot. If you could see it here in this video.
I see that Josh is watching. Josh, you...
You know, so that was done right after the Digital Millennium Copyright Act went into effect, and I couldn't DJ anymore. I couldn't do a DJ show anymore because I was getting copyright strikes and letters and stuff like that, and YouTube even put a copyright strike on one of my own songs that I have the copyright to. You know, it got really bad with the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, so I had to switch to a sort of a talk format, and then I got sick anyway, and I stopped doing it. But the things that I've seen, the things that I've heard over the past couple of months, and the people that I've met, anyone that's going to watch this on the replay is going to know what I'm talking about. You people that I've met over the past several months, the art people and the people from the tavern, the people from the tavern where we did a show on SantaCon, and the people that were in that same tavern a couple of days before Halloween when the Astral Cadence played. You know, I met all of these people, and they were all cool people, and they're doing different projects. And, you know, I'd like you guys to come on here and join me in you know, talking about what are we doing and why do we do it? Do we do it for money? Do we not do it for money? Do we do it for the love of it? What about the local live music scene, which in some places is dying? It's dying. There are practically no more venues. The bars don't want to have it. You know, there are like you know, party halls and stuff like that, but then, you know, that's going to be a cover charge. And if there's a bar, there's going to be, you know, it's things like this require require like real corporate level, arranging. And some of us, all we want to do is play. My background is both in bars and clubs and the subway. I played on subway platforms, sitting there for 5-6 hours, and I've played on moving trains. Okay, I've played out in the street after Hurricane Sandy. As soon as it quit raining, I was out on Jamaica Avenue over here playing on the avenue, and some lady came up to me and told me I was the devil and I shouldn't sing. And I was like, "Hey, lady, we just had a major storm. People lost their houses. People lost their pets. People lost their lives. I'm here singing a song." I was singing "The Horse with No Name" by America. And she went on and on about how I was the devil, and she handed me a copy of The Watchtower and walked away. So why do we do it? And sometimes when you get treated like this, still, why do we do it? There must be some let me get this closer to my face. There you go. How you like me now, baby? Okay. Come on the show and talk about it. If you're not one of the people that I've met recently, and you're just somebody who stumbled onto me on YouTube, send me an email, reverendmattyf@gmail.com. That's reverendmattyf@gmail.com. No, it's not the Reverend Matty F at Gmail. It's just Reverend Matty F at gmail.com. I am the Reverend Matty F. Okay. For those who watched and those who might, if you watch this on the replay, please leave me a comment or a like or subscribe, or, let me know that you saw what went on, or you heard what I said, or, let me know if I sucked or what. But, I'm going to turn around and sign off now. Okay, this is the Reverend Matty F. Here in my crappy apartment in Queens, New York, wishing you peace in your life. See, I knew there would be a technical glitch today, and it just happened. And it's because I'm an idiot. Here we go. Peace up, bitches.
This has been the Reverend Matty F Show. Brought to you from the corner of a small bedroom in a crappy apartment somewhere in Queens, New York. This is the Reverend Matty F wishing you peace in your life.